Couple 08, 789 over.
Yeah. When they go in emergency, the sand automatically drops.
I'm not on the 720s unless they fit a software tool.
Green and flashing. Oh, this green's irrelevant. Stop and pursue.
Still.
Myola you can do. And then from there we'll head off, and then Joe will keep us going and get us into our destination today, which is a place called Almaden. We'll get in there around about 1:30ish, and that'll be the end of the rail travel component for today. That's where you'll have lunch, and those of you who are going to Chillagoe, you'll head off to Chillagoe by bus after lunch at Almaden. Towards Kuranda, I mentioned that stage 2 of the Cairns Railway was from Redux to Myola. So not far away from coming into the area known as Myola. There's nothing here now except the odd house. But in its peak, so from about 1892 onwards for about 12 months, Myola was the end of the railway line, so it became a pretty important location. And it became so important that even Cobb & Co coaches moved their ticketing office from Port Douglas down to Myola. So yeah, end of stage 2, that was the end of John Robb's contract. The beginning of stage 3 of the Cairns Railway, which was Myola through to Granite Creek. Granite Creek was later renamed Mariba. Alright, we've got one. So I'll just put us in a position where you can all see it. So in the river, slightly to the right, there's a muddy island in the middle of it. There he is. Long one there, it's a fairly sizable animal. There he is. Then hopefully you can all see him stay slightly to the right of centre. And that mud on, he looks like a lop. And he's got his snout pointing towards us.
I didn't think you'd get one. I thought there's no way you're going to find
Into the water. He says, I've had enough of you mob of people on the train staring at me, let me be. I'm going to bugger off into the water.
Easy.
There we go.
so we believe you. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't crocodile.
So this sleeve here and this other one here are both fair game. This one and this one. That's Joesph.
So how good are they?
That's pretty cool.
Hey Hamish, this is still Lake Forest?
Oh, not really.
Okay. Just after Lake Forest.
So there you go. We paid the invoice for the plastic crocodiles this week, so it was there.
I think we're like...
We're just train drivers now, we've got to be loggers. So give us a few minutes and we've got to get our saws out and remove this tree out of it. Give a release back from our our safe working that we've been using since we've left Cairns. When we left Cairns, we got on that modern traffic light signalling. We had a green light. Once we left Cairns, we go on to something called DTC, direct train control. We send a bunch of codes, and control will send us a bunch of codes and give us authority that we're the only train in that section of line. Now we're going to some really old school safe working under that same principle, only one train per section of line. So, but then yeah, you might, if you've got a good eye, you might be able to see one just chilling in the shade or under a rock or in the cracks between the boulders. guys started our trip early today. There's also another spot where we just said goodbye to the Mariba people, the local indigenous country, to the Barbara people. So we're travelling now on Barbara country. Signing. Certain sugaries on the 2-foot gauge trains. I know how they're pretty much run. Now back then, in the early 1900s, people were using it, but the sole purpose was for minerals. And that's why this line was built, was for mineral deposit. Early 1900s. And they had no forms of one of those buildings is the old facilities, crew facilities, amenities room at the Lapa Range station. Now we're going to point that out when we get on top of the Lapa Range.
That's the one that's...
If you see how this part of the line's got a bit of jam plotted,
Right.
if you notice how every second sleeper's wood and we've still got steel sleepers, well you guys call them tyres in the States.
Correct.
Well, you'll notice sleepers here just like they do in the UK. So those wooden sleepers are still here. That's our railway line. Now you look at that little hill section there, you're thinking, oh yeah, you know, we're going to go for another tunnel. Well, that's not actually a tunnel, we're going to go for a cutting. Now, the reason why I bring this up, it's got a name to it called Knight's Cutting. Hamish has got on Saturday, but pretty much the wooden sleepers, or transoms we call them, run parallel with the rail, not across like they normally do. So you see here, you've got the normal trestle bridge, but then we come on to the second half. So back in 1899, this was barged up from Brisbane and then sent here in rail in pieces and then reassembled. But as well as we cross over Emu Creek, we've just finished coming down the Featherbed Range, and now we start climbing up the Lapa Range. The big one, all three of them, we're going to climb over on our way to Almaden this afternoon. There was meant to be a tunnel coming through here, so they were going to carve in a tunnel. But it could have been some surveyor called, so let's say Rob Knight. He said, no, we don't need to do a tunnel. We'll just blast our way through and make it into a cutting. So maybe he got the name because Rob Knight changed his mind after the original survey. We don't know why it's called Knight's Cutting. But yeah, this would have been the 16th tunnel. So we had 15 tunnels on the Kuranda Range. That could have been our 16th, but yeah, that's Knight's Cutting. In Almaden tonight, we'll make our way over around 7:30, 7:45. That would be nice on the time of departure. And you guys are going to Chiligo. Your Chiligo providers will let you know what time to be back on the bus, so you guys get here before.
a photograph.
Someone wanted a bit of beagle for dinner?
Yeah, you might get it yet.
We do get a fair bit of this sort of thing happen. There's a few locations where we do get cattle on the track. And when we do, we've got to be careful that we don't run them too fast. Like we can sneak up, we can roll up behind them and push them, make them run faster and faster. But the risk you do doing that is one of them could end up breaking a fetlock. So the animal then goes off and dies a very long, very painful, agonising death. So we tend to... Noise. There's a couple of common wallaroos on our right, on the rocks. The second one, closest to the bridge there, she's got a nose. I'll just move up a little bit more.
Probably the steadiest thing on the tripod. There's no panic, I'm going to stop him in a minute. We can get a couple of good shots and I'll move him again. But I don't have to.
Is that a one take?
They're very, very rarely. Their judgment of speed and distance is pretty exceptional. A little bit more.
And where they land on the ground. sáng tối đó chú.
telegraph station a few kilometres to upstream. Now before the railway line, these brakes, I'm so sorry. Now before the railway line came here, there was a telegraph station that came out of stand in one line, we won't go to anyone else's way. Righto. So Hamish is going to creep back just a little bit further. So it looks. Oh, beautiful, H. So it looks like he's approaching.
Thanks, John. I didn't know.
Yeah, very much so. Just for today, though.
Oh, today's off our own, isn't it?
Yeah, it's alright.
So we have to walk the rest of the way now.
Yeah, it's a good 80.
If you want it.
No, like people when we're videoing is not talk.
So what Hamish is going to do, he's going to bugger off around the corner, out of our sight. He's going to blast the horn once or twice. That's the call sign for you guys to start videoing, because he's going to start approaching down the hill. Once.
These particular components came from what used to be the Inverpilly Bridge. So this used to go over the Brisbane River at Inverpilly. And because of that, the Inverpilly Bridge was a road bridge at the time. It wasn't a railway bridge. So to get around that, the dimensions of it, when they built the railway line over it, they had to raise the height of the rails on top of the bridge components. To do that, all the sleepers and the transoms run vertically under the rails. It's very, very unique. It's the only bridge like it left.
As well, we've got a given hunter time from Kuranda. Is it 1700 over?
Yeah, that's correct. We often do
Okay, no problem. So I just had just the road runner confirming so it was a little bit better than 1700 over.
Yeah, look at this stage, running pretty well today. Why did it stop until you're going to get ready to do your
So it's got a turntable here, so the Kuranda scenic railway trains still use it. To make a brief stop, we sometimes allow passengers to hop on and off, but we don't have that today. Now, we've got to get a bit of other safe working to get across out of Kuranda. Then we'll have a quick stop at Barron Falls, and Hamish and I will bring out the shop of stuff that you do not need.
So we go, driver train 5299 2026.
Just in front of us is the magnificent Stony Creek Falls itself.
What do I say? 5299, got that there? Right at control, starting again from the top, my driver code is 385 652 929.
Thank you. Display code 612 594 544. Over.
Driving train 5299-2026 proceeding to Cairns. Obey home signal at Cairns. Over.
Zone of limit at Cairns is correct. Thank you.
Sorry, mate. Sure, mate.
Platform on our left hand side. We'll be able to exit any door on the left once we arrive. Once we get in there, we will stop the train. We'll throw some lights on inside for you. And before you leave the train, it is a really recommended thing to make sure you have a good look around yourself, the parcel back above your head, the area beneath your feet, down the side of the seats in particular. They're good at swallowing glasses, cases and mobile phones and things. Have a good look now, make sure you've got everything. It's a lot easier than trying to deal with our lost property system. That's if you could even call it a system. It's sort of a lost property schmozzle, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But once we pull up and you're on the platform, give Joe and I a couple of minutes. We'll get up the back, we'll get your luggage out onto the platform and you'll be able to collect your luggage. If you want a taxi, 131 to the railway station. Taxi bay is just on our left up here near where that bus is currently sitting. If you want to exit to the Cairns City, you can do so. Just go straight through the glass doors. Be open on our left. left where we pull up. Just walk across the car park to our left, through the ground floor of the shopping centre. It's like a gaming arcade. Keep on going out and you'll end up on McLeod Street. Keep going further, you can stay on Shield Street and end up in the town. There is a Coles supermarket open on the next floor up still. Welcome to do that if you need to. But look, I hope you enjoyed your trip, and on behalf of Joe and myself and everybody else here at the Savannahlander, I hope you've enjoyed your days away with us. Love to see you again. Thanks for your company and have a good evening.
So pull up with about the middle of the train.
Thank you.